What's up, my friend? First of all, Happy New Year to you and also to your family. I wish you guys all the best and actually bring a video related with that. 4 ways British and American New Year is very different. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this one, thank you so much for that. It's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, oh man, in that case, I'll forget about it. You make my day. Actually, you may make my year. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. I love Lawrence, so let's see.
Hello, and Happy New Year to all of the good people out there,
thank
plus
you.
Uncle Toby.
To you too.
I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the New Year.
Let's see it.
And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, I thought you gave up alcohol. I did. This is sparkling water. Anyway, when I first moved to the United States, my first New Year celebration didn't seem much different to those that I experienced back in Britain. But then, as the years went on, I started to notice that I'd been completely and utterly a little bit incorrect. Because while...
Okay, this is actually really weird to me, because I don't see any difference between the way I celebrate New Year to the way you that live in Texas, New York, whatever, celebrates. I think it's quite similar. You guys like to drink, you guys, not everyone, but you guys get the point. To party, fireworks, stay with friends and family. So I think it is the same way in Europe or America. That's why I'm reacting. I'm actually really curious. Let's run it back a bit.
Went on, I started to notice that I'd been completely and utterly a little bit incorrect. Because while both countries do the countdown to midnight and drink and indulge in fireworks, the way we do these things, as well as other traditions, does differ on either side of the pond. And if you've somehow gone the whole of 2023 without subscribing to this channel, do that now.
I already did, don't worry.
In the meantime, here are 4 ways that British and American New Year is very different.
Good luck.
The first of these is the ways in which both countries try to engineer good luck going into the new year. What do I mean by that? Well, for some answers, I'm going to hand you off to YouTube sensation Lawrence Brown, who is me. In Scotland, and by extension parts of northern England, there's a tradition called first footing, in which the first person to enter a home on January 1st brings good luck for the rest of the year. Now this...
Okay, I was not aware of this at all. This is not common in my country. So I guess British and Portuguese are quite different. But yeah, I was not aware of this. Let's run it back a bit. That's interesting, but I was not aware.
Enter a home on January 1st brings good luck for the rest of the year. Now, this doesn't include burglars. We're talking about family members or friends of the people who live in the house. Yeah. And it's not always true, because for me, last January 1st, the first person to enter my house was Chainsaw Jim, who subsequently stole my fence. But it is a tradition that plays a big...
Who is Chainsaw Jim? What is that? I have no idea.
Role in the Scottish Hogmanay traditions. In the US, specifically in the South, the biggest good luck charm is the black-eyed peas.
Black-eyed peas? That's a famous band, right? You guys dig that in the South? That's interesting. Right back. I have no idea about why.
In the US, specifically in the South, the biggest good luck charm is the black-eyed peas. Just black-eyed peas, not the band, food. Consumption of the black-eyed pea dish hopping...
Oh, this is a dish. Okay. You guys like this. Okay, I was also not aware. That's interesting.
John on New Year's Day is seen as a harbinger of...
What is that? That looks good, actually.
Good luck for the year ahead, unless it's me doing the cooking.
Time zones. Oh boy, I never thought about this one. This is true. In America, you guys have different time zones. Okay, this can be weird. If you are already celebrating New Year and your mother that lives in other state is still in 2023. Should you call her or not? Because that's probably bad luck if you wish... I don't know.
You would not believe how much of an impact time zones can have on one's New Year celebrations. Firstly, growing up in Britain, I and the rest of the country were on the exact same time zone.
Same in Portugal.
So all of our celebrations were in perfect unison. It never occurred to me that there are countries around the world where this is not the case. And one of those countries is the United States. Now, when I lived in Indiana...
I love the way he says the United States. I love Lawrence, by the way. If you also like his channel, again, go to my description, check the original video. give him some love and and leave a like on this one if you agree with me that he's one of the best content creators out there.
Listen, it never occurred to me that there are countries around the world where this is not the case. And one of those countries is the United States. Now, when I lived in Indianapolis, this wasn't really a problem. And that's because I was on Eastern Standard Time, which is the same time zone as Times Square. There's a lot of time involved. But then I moved to Chicago and I was suddenly 1 hour behind New York. From then on, watching Dick Clark's Rocking New Year's Eve felt weird because I was celebrating something that wouldn't happen for an hour yet. And then I considered that in addition to those 2 time zones, there are 4 more.
Oh,
Mountain,
boy.
2 hours behind New York.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know this is not related with the video, but oh my god. I said this in a lot of videos. America, the most beautiful country in the world. Look at that. Do I know where is this? No. If I had to bet, Montana, because I'm seeing mountains. Makes no sense, I know. But never mind. Let's continue.
New York Pacific, 3 hours behind. Alaska Aleutian, 4 hours behind. And Hawaii, 5 hours. All that said...
5 hours in Hawaii? Oh boy, that's crazy. That's insane. Okay.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret that I discovered this week. If you extend this to include American territories, as well as British territories, both have exactly 9 time zones apiece. So in that respect, you could say that we're not so different, you and I. I swear I'm not drunk. And then there's the countdown itself, and in
Okay, the countdown is the same thing. Don't tell me that Americans start at 20 and in Europe we start at 10. No chance. I don't believe on this. I would never watch another video from Lawrence if that's the case. I would probably still watch it, but you guys get the point, right?
Britain, all eyes turn to the Elizabeth Tower, or as it's known to purists, Big Ben. And even those purists will be quick to point out that traditionally Big Ben was the name of the...
So, in Portugal, we don't have a monument like this that is iconic to watch the 10 countdown. It is what it is. I know they have the Big Ben, and in America is in New York, right? I know there is a big event there. I could be wrong, but I think in New York is where people look at the countdown. Maybe even on TV, right?
Bell and not the tower, but I digress. In hindsight, I suppose it's weirdly
an amazing monument, by the way, the Big Ben.
Logical to count down to the new year by staring at one of the world's most famous clocks. And for me, the sound of Big Ben's gong, which I promise isn't rude in any way, will forever be synonymous with the passing of one year to the other. In America, we watch a ball drop. Again, that's not dirty. And that's because the ball in question is massive and made out of crystal. And instead of taking place in the country's capital city, which probably wouldn't allow buildings of this height, the ball is dropped in New York. And I don't...
Okay, so this is what I was thinking about. I also think it's amazing the celebrations in New York. I tend to see it later on the news because there is always how the New Year was celebrated around the world. And I always find New York one of the most beautiful ones.
I don't really know what happens once the ball reaches its final destination. Does it smash into a million pieces? Because that would mirror the fate of most of my champagne glasses. Actually, I'm just hearing from an article that I read online that it does not smash, it comes to a rest. Which on the one hand is good, but on the other doesn't make for such a resting television.
Old Lang's... Okay, I believe this is the song... this is a very popular song about New Year. Another one that I know is very popular is the ABBA New Year. So this is not popular in America, and what's going on here?
Old Lang Syne. Is there any song out there more synonymous with the New Year? Happy New Year by ABBA. And at this point...
To be honest, I think that's more famous, yeah.
You might be thinking, Lawrence, I know for a fact that Old Lang Syne is sung in both Britain and America, so what's going on? You see, this song became synonymous with the New Year in both countries at different times and for different reasons. In fact, the song's lyrics were the work of renowned Scottish poet Robert Burns, who, while adopting an existing traditional tune, came up with the piece in 1788. And shortly thereafter, 2 things happened with this song. Firstly, it became associated with Scottish New Year celebrations, and secondly, it would shortly do the same in the rest of Britain. And at this time, you may or may not know...
Okay, honestly, I had no idea about this one.
that Britain was forming a colonial empire, and the tradition spread to many of its colonies. But absent from that list was the United States. This perhaps owes a lot to the fact that by then, the United States had become the first country to gain independence from the British, and from the 19th century was forming holiday traditions of its own. So then when did Old Lang Syne take off here? And the answer is easy: the 20th century. Because it was popularised here not by a Scotsman or an Englishman, but another perfectly good setup for a joke, a Canadian. Band leader Guy Lombardo, presumably familiar with the Scottish tradition, performed the song every New Year's Eve with his band, the Royal Canadians, broadcast to a North American audience every year from the late 1920s to the 1970s, and it's been a New Year staple here ever since.
Okay, actually, honestly, I love Lawrence for one thing. I know his humor is amazing, and he always puts, he jokes a lot. Honestly, I'm kind of the same on my videos, but he puts a lot of research on this type of stuff, and see that I end up learning something on this video, and I find that tremendous.
And on that note, pun intended, I'm all out of water, so I'm going to go and refill and count in the new year, which
I'm starting to have my doubts if this is water or not.
at the time of this video isn't until tomorrow, but just pretend that it is today. Thank you to all of you for another record-breaking year at Lost in the Pond. If you don't know what I'm talking about, follow me on social media and check out my most recent post. In the meantime, an absolutely humongous thank you to my patrons, who've just helped this channel grow to new heights in 2023. If you would like to become a ponderer and support everything that I do, you can do so today at patreon.com/lostinthepond, or by clicking the join button below. Until the next video, goodbye and Happy New Year.
Okay, amazing video by Lawrence. Like always, he's one of the best content creators out there. He's one of the people I like to react the most. And you guys also tend to like my reactions to him. And the best way to tell me is always the same thing. Leave a like if this is the type of reactions you enjoy. So I end the video like I started, wishing you all the best in 2024. I said something at the beginning that I think is very important. I don't just wish you I just don't wish to you Happy New Year. I wish also to your family or friends, because at the end of the day, if our family is not okay, how can that be a new year to us, right? So yeah, see you guys next year. Bye, my friends.